Well, I found something suspicious. Can you guess what it is? Can't figure it out, huh? Okay, look at the scaling number here. That's 3. Notice the ratio from this to this. This divide this equals that. Okay. Try it on this one here. This divide this equal. That does not equal. This divide this does not equal that. Not even close. It's because I ended up referencing the wrong values in my spreadsheet. Here is what my replacements are, and I sure hope this fixes that stubborn bug. Copy that. Paste all that. Copy this again. Select all. And copy some tabs. Replace. Same thing here. Yep, that's how fast that change was. Now, are you seeing any ideas on just how powerful that shortcut really is? Hopefully I got rid of those stupid unhandled exception errors. And it's one of the consequences for trying to write to memory that your program's going out of bounds. Like, take a simple array. You align 10 for that. If you try to change set a value for array index 15, you're going to get some big problems. And that's pretty much what it appears that I was having. It was going way over when it should not have been doing that. So, a few adjustments to the spreadsheet, and hey, and here's that 8764 that I was telling you about earlier. Hopefully things work this time. Okay, not bad there. Run that. Yeah, Hey, already done that fast? Oh my goodness. Did it really go that fast? Okay, I'm gonna have to look at this. What a mess. But hey, that was so fast, it was amazing. And get this, all I gotta do, if I want to put in more textures, is, well, I'll show you that too. Let's see. Data open. Okay, here is one of the problems I'm having with GIMP. Okay, scroll bar. Scroll. Click here. Nothing. It's not responding. I guess that means I have to close GIMP. At least this is not that infinite loop bug, but oh boy, it's awfully close to that. Let's see, I'm going to pick something. Here we go. I finally got that infinite loop bug with GIMP recorded. Yep, notice the CPU usage here? Yep, it's always going to be like that. I can't do anything with GIMP anymore. There's only one solution. This is the problem I've been having for 2 years. That's right, years. The only thing I can do is Task Manager and go from there. It turns out that I had several other mistakes and things that I had with this program, this automation program. I went around changing some things around, so it makes things so much easier and faster to do. And this is one of them, for example. So that way, well, textures don't process beyond what's really needed. After all, if you can't see the texture, because it's all otherwise monotonic looking, what's the point of going any further when I can just use a simple, nothing more than a monotonic image? It's all one color, of which is the kind of thing that gets 99% compression, which really, really helps. But anyway, these are some of the changes I made. Yeah, I've changed the stage orders and things like that. Yep, and there was a problem with this that I also happened to have spotted. Because this was a 128 or something, but it had to be a 64. And notice here it goes to a 32. It's actually for optimization, or at least some optimization. I notice this here. This is because, well, textures like snow and sand, this is what their limit is. They don't go any higher than 16 because they're already so fine to begin with. So this is where this one's almost exclusive. This is otherwise exclusive to grass. However, water requires a special routine here, like water day, and here's the 8x. I'll actually get to that just a little bit later, and nothing special here. This is where I had to make a change here, because what's the point of loading all that bitmap data and header data like this up here when it doesn't even change? So, fseek, skip it. Or file seek as it's probably called. Yep, a little bit here for the 4x scale, and it goes to the 2x. Really nothing here, and then there's the 1x. That's basically to provide the full effect, but as you can see here, it goes way, way out here. Look how far water can go out because it's so rough looking, or at least compared to grass and the other such textures. But, yep, had to make sure I had the right scaling, because the scaling of 1 is actually based on the texture at the 8x scale. Lake Cavern only has, well, 4x, but I offset the texture and the image contents for, yeah, well, you get the idea. But I just wanted to show you. So 256 divide 8, guess what that is? Yep, that's 32. Now take this, divide the adjusted output, 32, and what do you get but 32? I was actually getting a 32 texture. So I guess I might as well run this program again, so I can get these textures updated. Okay, let her run. 5 seconds, or at least that's what I'm getting anyway. Except that one was a lot longer for some odd reason. Either way, it's all I needed. Here's the results. Okay, now you probably saw 7 megs or something from the previous system, but look at how tiny these files are. My, that is so tiny. But there's also a bug with Windows where this is actually rounded up instead. Yep, and if you select everything and note this, that's how little memory all those grass textures need. All that for the grass. So what if I want to do extra textures beyond? Well, that's actually pretty easy, and I'll demonstrate that, provided this program doesn't crash again. This one looks to be about like the one I want, and yes, this is my dirt texture. Not very exciting, but this, of course, does take quite a while to load because, well, if this file size here is anything, yeah, it's what happens when you have noisy images. So, if I want to do more textures, that's all I gotta do is, well, just so you get an idea on what I went through manually. Yep, each and every single one of these. This is 12 channel, and this particular texture goes clear out to 32, which means I had 60 of them to do. Now I've got 120 of them to do, and thank goodness for that automation. However, anyway, one thing I need to do is I need to get the base texture, and I basically make that 50% more. And there you have that. However, it's not all the way there. Duplicate, move down, lots and lots of page faults doing that. And I mean lots. I can actually get it almost page fault delta every half second at almost 280,000. I think I might have even had 300,000 at times. Yeah, that's how crazy the page faults are in this program. And I also happen to have to save, but gotta delete again. And delete, of course, so and I need to get rid of all this at the end. .boom, or as I like to say, bitmap, if you know what I mean. So this will be my dirt texture. This can take a while, unfortunately. Yep, well, that's what happens when you end up with big images like this, but hey, that's what's needed. So all I gotta do now, if I want to go process that particular texture, except I gotta find it, not the water related stuff, is dirt goes out to 32, so I set it there. I'm gonna change this to dirt. Okay. Hit save and run the program. Yep, it's a standard ground layer, so you know what that means. Yep, there's the 5 seconds again that I'm familiar with. And guess what? All these dirt textures. How much memory does all that use up? Of course, ignore that base image. This is what dirt uses up. That's tiny. At least compared to the clouds end up using almost 4 times that. Yeah, that's how much those clouds end up using. But see how it stopped at 32? That's what that if statement is for. But everything here follows all my standards, and all my program is otherwise working for everything. So, what about water textures? I'll get to that next. Oh, let's see. I like water day. This looks really strange because that's there. But that's no big deal. Takes a while to load if this file size is any hint. Yeah, almost more than 1/5 of a gig. However, there are multiple base textures. Why multiple base textures? Easy. This is that scale up that you might be familiar with that you're seeing. So I need to process this many times over. But it's actually relatively quick. 6120, nothing new there. Go any bigger, then I'll end up going outside the array bounds and I'll start getting unhandled exception errors. For now, I'll just go after a close approximation on these. Here's the 4x scale up. Miss. Okay, get close on that one too. Here's the 2x scale up. Looks kinda still a little on the rough side. Yeah, it's because I misdotted again, as I like to sometimes say. Yeah, I still got that Ultima Exodus stuff on in my head. And lastly, if I can find it, it's this one. Yep, this is that main texture for water. Daytime water, that is. Now I zoom in and correct these boundaries. Join these all up. Why do I have so many textures instead of just going with one of them? Easy. It maximizes the accuracy. Oops, wrong layer. Yeah, there's a gap here, but there really ain't much I can do about that. Okay, now it's off to saving these. And ground, water, day. This time something is different. Yeah, V7 because it's, well, revision number 7 for this particular texture. It's the most revised of all my textures. Since I'm doing the 8x first, I'm doing, well, 8x. Long save. Okay. I clone the process for this. Except all I gotta do now is change that to a 4. And wait for this. Okay, same thing with the 2. And lastly, the 1. Way clear down at the bottom. Okay. Now you probably remember that it took like a day or two to get this water texture all fine-tuned and stuff, right? Well, if I have to make a small change, all I gotta do is just change those base textures and off I go. So in this case I need to go to the water section. There is no texture detail limit thing because water is always the same. Always 32, if this commenting here is any hint. At first it starts at the 8x scale, loads this, because on the first load it's needed, and, well, guess I'll otherwise just run it. Except this time I don't use 11, I use 12, because this is for water layers. Let it run, again. Except this time it's processing 192 layers, and it went that fast. That's all I gotta do now. It is just so amazing. So what do the results actually look like? Well, I'll show you. Let's see. I hate the way Windows sorts all these because they're all unpredictable. Like this here. Like 3 is greater than 0. So you'd expect the 3 to be after this one. It's not. It's annoying. If there's a way to fix that or adjust it, I would. And this is where the limit is, of course. But look how smooth that is. There's like nothing in the way of detail here at all. Yep, just like I've explained in my how I process the ground video, that's pretty much the limit of detail that I have. Where's the 64 on you? Yep, even 64 on the grass still has a lot of detail. And for the water, yeah, it goes clear out to that 2... No, it's not that one. Alright, where is it? Here it is. 256 is what I was looking for. But even then, even there, you can still see some detail. That's about how far I go. As long as the contrast drops below a certain point, that's when I usually stop. So what about the solid ones? Those I'll pretty much just do manually. It's really quick too, at least. Okay, I'll demonstrate. Again. Except this time I only have to load the base texture. Where's the water ones at? 1x. Boy, that is so screwed up for that file naming when there's a number in there. So, how do I do the solid ones? Well, at least now anyway. All I gotta do is scale the image 1. Sure seems exciting, doesn't it? Where is it? Somewhere right here? Yep, and then I scale it up. 1024 by 384. Why not 768? There's no point in covering the whole screen. This is actually a bug with this program. Okay, you saw the size here, right? 1024 by 384. I don't have calculator up on day 2 at this. So, 1024 times 384. Okay, times 3 because I'm working with 24-bit images. Now, is this close to that? Now, is this number here close to that 686 megs? I don't even think so. It's not even close. It's a bug. Okay, and if I were to examine here, GIMP is always high on the list here. Peak mem usage. Now, that ain't even that 600 gigs. Of course, it's really big because I'm working with a huge image to begin with. Then all I gotta do is just save this as solid and it's all ready to go. Except change that to solid and it's done. That's all I need to do for the solid textures.